Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as Ivy Winter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. Today I'm going to talk about something that I see is often asked about Flight of Passage, and the question usually is it too intense for me? Can I handle this ride? This is kind of a hard question to answer because everybody is different, and I'm gonna preface it with that. Everybody's different. What you can handle, what I can handle, and every nuance in between is different. So coming from me, I'm a big thrill seeker. I love all kinds of rides. I don't really get motion sickness. A testament to that is how often I've ridden Mission Space on Orange, which is to say dozens and dozens of times. Going by what my threshold is, I don't think that Flight of Passage is really that intense, but I can see how other people are concerned. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what the Flight of Passage experience is like in comparison to some of the other rides at Disney, so you can kind of figure out on your barometer, like, where it stands and if you should even bother, because the last thing you want to do is someone to tell you it's not so bad, you get on the ride and have a terrible experience. But on the opposite side, you don't want to be so afraid of going on the ride that you get to miss out on an experience that maybe you would have really enjoyed. So Flight of Passage, first and foremost, is a motion simulator ride on a seat that is shaped kind of like a motorcycle bike. And you're in a row with a bunch of people, and that entire section, I believe it's a row of 8, moves together, and then your individual seat moves a little bit as well. But the movements are not super intense. What makes it feel intense is the visuals combined with the movement. A lot of people have called Flight of Passage Soarin' on steroids or Soarin' 2.0. I can see that. I don't like to call it that because I think that it undermines how good of a ride it is. But I can see how if you're trying to describe it to someone, yes, that is the closest way to describe it. If you want to see what it actually looks like without too much of a giveaway of the actual ride, Tim Tracker actually just recently did like a really interesting POV of it where he put his camera back where the bags are supposed to be and filmed him on the seat with the screen. He filmed quite a bit of it, so I would say, watch a few seconds of it, but it'll give you a really good idea of like what does it look like inside the space that you were sitting in and how much do those seats move, because you can tell with where the camera is. Okay, so you've got a big screen in front of you, you're sitting on your seat, moves with people and a little bit individually, but how intense is it? I would say if I'm gonna put it on the scale of the more thrilling rides, so we're talking Everest and Rock and Roller Coaster and Mission Space, I would put it definitely underneath Mission Space. Nothing is nearly, I think, as physically intense as Mission Space is, I think, at all on Disney parks. And it would definitely go under Rock and Roller Coaster because you're not going upside down, you're not being launched 60 miles an hour. It's nothing like that. In fact, I would even put it under most roller coasters. So if you can do roller coasters, you might be able to do this. But if it's the visuals that are getting you a little bit dizzy, think about what you can handle with Star Tours. If Star Tours is like an absolute no for you, then this might not be what you want to do. Because the screen is newer and crisper and clearer, you might have less visual issue than maybe you would in Star Tours, though personally I don't think Star Tours is unclear or anything like that. So if it's that, I don't think it's like a visual issue, but you do move and you do have a lot going on around you on the screen. I think if you find you have a very low threshold for motion simulators, you'd probably want to pass. I know when I went with Kat, Rob's girlfriend, she does not do Mission Space. Orange, she sometimes does green, and then she went on Flight of Passage, and for her, she really enjoyed it. She thought it was great. She said if it was any longer though, it would have made her feel sick, and I don't think that was a ride that she could have done necessarily twice in a row. So, but she can handle things like Rock and Roller Coaster totally fine. I think that's just a really good anecdotal experience that someone had. She enjoyed it and she could handle it, but said if it was any longer, it might have been a little too much. If you think you can handle the actual visuals of the screen, and it's less motion sickness you're worried about, and it's more like, is this scary? Are there drops? Is it like a scary sort of ride? I would say no. I think it's a very exciting ride. I think that the drops definitely feel real, but to be honest, you are not dropping. You are not dropping like Tower of Terror, let me tell you that. You are not dropping like drops in roller coasters at all. What makes it feel real is you are tilting forward, but the screen, the visual, is making you feel like you're going faster because it looks like you're going straight down. And they're blowing air into your face to make it feel like you're moving. So if you take yourself outside of that, and I've heard for some people that if they just close their eyes during those drops, it's really not so bad because you physically realize that you're just doing this a little bit. So if a drop is really frightening to you, you can close your eyes, and apparently that is a bit better. But I think knowing that you're not physically like going at like an 85-degree angle is a big help, especially like mentally, on how to handle the whole thing. But it does feel like you're falling because of visual and the air being blown in your face. And I think if you're thinking of kids and if they're gonna be afraid or not, I can tell you from my perspective, when I was a kid, I would have loved this ride. When I was a kid, I was also afraid of Space Mountain and Tower of Terror, but I don't think I would have been afraid of this ride at all. So I think for most kids, it'll be thrilling, it won't really be scary, and I think they'll be just fine. Hopefully this helps you make a decision on going on the ride or not. I know it's difficult because I'm not you, and I wish I could understand how you feel so I could better tell you yes or no on riding it. But I hope that this explains a little bit more so that you can make a better decision. And if you don't want to go on the ride, don't go on it. Don't let anyone pressure you into it. You don't want to feel sick for no reason. But at the same time, don't fear it either. If you think that you can handle it, I would say give it a go. It is my personal favorite ride in all of Disney World, so I think it's worth trying. I would like to know in the comments below, how did you feel about Flight of Passage? Do you think it's intense? Do you think not at all? Did you have any issues riding it? Did you have a problem afterwards? Feel any motion sickness? I'd like to know in the comments below. I also think it would really help out if you commented for anyone else who's looking for people's experiences. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, then you should subscribe because I'm making videos every single week and they're super fun. And I love hanging out with you guys, so you should hit that button. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day. Bye.